I have no papers to stack today because I'm working from home, so I'll stack my iPhone. LBF 5x5, Dragon Keeper 1990 5x5. Appreciate y'all. It is September 22nd, 2023, and according to the internet, the world ends tomorrow. So I hope you have a good Friday today, good day of prep. We're going to do the brief today. Good morning to everybody in the chat, 5x5. I appreciate y'all. You guys know the drill. If you're new here, do the YouTube thing, subscribe, ring the little bell icon, leave a comment for the YouTube algorithmic robots. If you're one of the 40% of people who watch the show but aren't subscribed, the Angry Viking therapist, give him a call. He'll check your head out. He'll figure out what kind of past traumas you've had with previous YouTube personalities and why you can't commit, why you're lurking in the shadows instead of just hitting the subscribe button. And to all of y'all who aren't new here, you know the drill. Put a thumbs up on the product you're watching right now. Share the show with somebody you love. Leave a comment for the YouTube algorithmic robots. Okay. Okay, Bear. All right. Awesome. What company am I a shill for? Which one? I don't remember. Do you guys remember? Who am I supposed to talk about? Is it this one right here? This one? I think it's this one. Is it this one? Phil Lind posted a picture of a coffee cup. Indeed. That's right, White Fox. Nephews.reticle.com. Nephews.reticle.com. Best first aid kits on planet Earth. Primary shill. That's me. Brought to you today by The Bear Fact. The Bear First Aid exceeds military specification on 4 continents with all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces, electively 91 lives saved to date. Get it while you can. It's Friday. Store closes at sundown. All right. Do the brief, Bear. I get. What do you think I'm about to do, homie? Simmer down. Bear Independent Brief, 22 September 2023. The day before the world ends, according to the interwebs. The Federal Reserve has decided to pause rate hikes this time around. Thanks, Feds. You're so nice to us. You're the best. But at least one more rate hike is expected this year. That's cool. You know, we're officially into... No, are we officially into Q3 yet? No, close though. October, November, December. So we're, 10 days Q3 or Q4 rather. According to research, a year or more has to pass before the effects of rate hikes fully bloom within the economy, and it's already been a year and a half since the Fed first began to raise rates. In other words, buckle up, it might be a bumpy ride. Tracing the trajectory of the economy, inflation should reach the goal of 2% by the middle of next year. Question mark. At least according to Chicago Fed researchers. Because, you know, maybe I'm showing my biases here, my endemic racism as a white guy, and the fact that, you know, I'm a dude, so patriarchy, and I guess I'm a misogynist as well. I don't know, all the things that they like to say about people like me. I don't trust people, generally speaking, in leadership. I generally don't trust people in leadership from Chicago because, you know, integrity and morality is not things that they're known for. Border out of control. Your thoughts, Bear. JB's Garbage. Thanks for the $5. I've been talking about the border or more or less for every brief here lately. This is not a Q&A, though. I may touch on it in a bit. Thanks for the $5, though, because right now I'm reading the brief. Doobie-doobie-doo. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said on Thursday, that's yesterday, quote, "We want to see convincing evidence, really, that we have reached the appropriate level of inflation. And we're seeing progress, and we welcome that. But, you know, we need to see more progress before we'll be willing to reach that conclusion." 2 of my battle dogs are on the trampoline out front. Battling each other. Yes. It's awesome. We should just new YouTube channel, Bouncy Battle Dogs, and it's just a live stream of the battle dogs on the trampoline. It's pretty funny because Yeah. Pay-per-view. I like it, Andy Barnes. I like it. One complication on this path to a more stable, air quote, normal for the U.S. economy is that there may be a government shutdown on the horizon. Aww. If that occurs, the Bureau of Labor Statistics would temporarily stop releasing key inflation and employment data, which in turn would create a murky situation for the Federal Reserve and investors alike, who would have a harder time reading the tea leaves of the economy without the key data they usually use. Also, the key data that comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics on inflation does not include minor things like the cost of fuel, the cost of food, the cost of electricity, minor things for which I'm sure for most of y'all account for 0.04% roughly your total budget for your household, which is why they don't include that in their inflation numbers, because food, energy, fuel, not important. It's not important for you cockroach peasant citizens from their perspective to have any of those things. Because if you did have all those things, it would be harder for them to exterminate you. We could never get down to the Georgia Guidestone's 500 million people on Earth. If you actually had food, then the likelihood of you dying from some, global interruption in services, COVID-19, would be much higher. So that's why they don't include that information in the inflation numbers, because they don't. This might be a surprise. Some of y'all, I know. Are you sitting down? Okay. They don't care about you. I know. It's tough. But they don't care about you. You're an insect to them. Dylan Carson said COVID-24 ? I don't care. But what if the next one is really deadly? Okay, cool. Enact COVID protocols. Close gate. Stay home. Talk shit at an iPhone. Roger, can do all of that. Eat sheep. Check. Make bread. Check. Got it. My island in my kitchen is covered with like prepper food stuff right now. I see freeze dryer trays, a 10-pound bag of egg noodles, flats of eggs from our chickens, gallons of olive oil, pounds of yeast, approximately 70 servings of wine, a grain mill, jerky, dehydrated jerky, and a large Tupperware that recently had matzah in it. I'll be okay. COVID-24. I'll be okay. It'd be all right. But then what happens if they bomb us? Okay, they're going to be kicking out 500-pound bombs out the bomb bays over here in eastern Oklahoma. Population 0. Roger. Right. Got it. Yeah. Got it. Let's see. How likely is a government shutdown? According to the chief U.S. policy strategist at AGF Investments, Greg Valere, there is about a 70% chance of a shutdown, and it could be a long one that lasts into the winter. Maybe I'm just spicy bear today, but could we get an even longer one? Like a forever one? Could we just shut that bitch down forever? Like close the doors? We'll have a going out of business sale. I could use some of those DOD surplus MRAPs. That'd be fun. I'm down with that. They're just shutting it down. I don't even want an under new management banner. Like, when like the last remaining mom and pop store downtown has like the under new management sign that goes up. I don't even want one of the fire sale, Andy Barnes. I like the way you think. You homegrown terrorist, you. No, going out of business sale. We could get some of those $12,000 hammers, $27,000 toilet seats. They probably got some like phones and stuff, desks. They probably have lots of desks, paper, printers, Xerox machines. It'd be fun. And let's be honest, we all paid for that shit anyway. So we could just reappropriate the stuff that we already bought. Like, hello, National Guard Armory. I'm here to get some of that stuff that I paid for. Thanks. Yeah, just load it on the trucks. I'll drop you a pin, show you where to drop it off. It'll be fun. As in this day and age says big facts, right? Dooby-doo. In other news, the UAW, which is an unidentified aerial werewolf, I believe, where I believe we're at that point now. There's Peruvian werewolf skeletons that are being released by totally not a hoaxer in Mexico these days in preparation for Project Bluebeam, which is what they're going to use tomorrow to end the world, I think is what the current internet chatter is. The UAW, unidentified aerial werewolves. No, I'm sorry. The United Auto Workers still on strike at several key locations with about 12,700 workers, or roughly 10% of the workforce represented by the UAW, sitting this last work week out. Layoffs and work stoppages have been triggered down the supply chain, and the unidentified aerial werewolves have warned of further strikes if negotiations fail to proceed. General Motors said in a statement on Wednesday, quote, "It's unfortunate that the unidentified aerial werewolf leadership's decision to call a strike at Wentzville Assembly has already had a negative ripple effect." I mean, if my assembly plant was being assaulted by unidentified aerial werewolves, I'd be pretty concerned as well. But maybe we could get some anti-aircraft guns when we reappropriate all the stuff that we bought with our taxpayer dollars. When we get that back from DOD, you know, we'd have or even like a Toyota pickup truck technical would be fine. You could probably shoot a lot of aerial werewolves with one of those. It'd be okay. No, these men are not drunk. It's but the 9th hour of the day. Anybody read the Book of Acts? I swear I'm completely sober. This is what I look like when I get a full night's sleep and I'm on my second cup of coffee. You're a bear, I'm a gorilla, so why not have werewolves? I like our chances. Roger that, Silverback. I feel, now, maybe it's just hubris, but I feel like I could take a werewolf. Honestly, I've like, let's party, bro. Let's go. My wife is sighing on the couch over there like, okay, moron, shut up and read the news. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's see. The unidentified aerial werewolf's leadership decision to call a strike at the Wentzville Assembly Plant has already had a negative ripple effect, with General Motors' Fairfax Assembly Plant in Kansas being idled today and most of its represented team members leaving the plant as there is no work available. Due to the specific circumstances of this aerial invasion, impacted employees are not eligible for company-provided subpay, end quote. Now, there is talk, this union of unidentified aerial werewolves, there is talk that rather than striking across the board, Harambe, Casey Keller remembers Harambe. Never forget Harambe. That's right. There is talk that the UAW, rather than doing universal lateral strikes across the board, what they're looking to do now is find key facilities in the production and supply chain for these auto manufacturers and shut down individual facilities. For example, like if everybody at the transmission assembly plant goes on strike, we have no transmissions. So it doesn't matter if you have every other piece of the vehicle. If you don't have a transmission, you don't have a vehicle. Transmission. So like, it's not like a trans person, right? Why are they putting all these trans parts in my vehicles? Now, Biden and the Biden regime, which allegedly, being air quote democratic, allegedly represents the people. Biden is sending 2 top officials from the Biden regime to help ease negotiations with the UAW. We'll see how that goes, because it doesn't look very good when the unionized people are out of work, when the Democrats are in control. Now, the union is demanding pay equivalent to roughly $100,000 to $150,000 per year per worker. And on the one hand, I've noticed that things are a little bit more expensive here lately, as compared to, I don't know, roughly the year 2020. There seems to have been something that happened roughly around the year 2020 that made things get way more expensive. I don't know what it is. I'm some peon in eastern Oklahoma. But yeah, things are up. And so if I could just demand more money, hey, listen, go to refugemedical.com, get a bear fac. It's $7,000. That'd be great, right? Yeah, here you go. $7,000. Check it out. But that's the same thing that you used to sell for $269. I know. I just want more money. Times are tough, y'all. That's not really how economies work. And so why do I even care about the UAW? Am I planning on buying a new vehicle anytime soon? The answer is no, because I don't want to drop $74,000 on a 1-ton HD GMC 6.6 liter diesel with the Allison automatic in it. Now, if I hit the Powerball, that's a whole nother story. GMC's for everybody if I hit the Powerball. But what do I care? It's an economic indicator. It's a huge economic indicator. We're not nearly as strong economically as the big they say we are. So, eyeballs on that. The Fed will keep raising interest rates to 20%, says the American Patriot. Oh, we shall see. What's up, Sun Tzu Lao? Doobie-doo. While the Biden administration desires to cool the economic impact of a full walkout during the strike, it doesn't have much legal authority to interfere. Top officials have made multiple calls to many different relevant parties, and Biden, who supports the union workers' side, said he would be sending 2 top officials to Detroit. I don't know if Detroit has had a renaissance since the last time I was there, but the whole damn city just looks like bombing runs have taken place there. It just looks like A-10s have been loitering on station for the last couple of decades. That place is a shithole. The newly minted UAW president, Sean Fain, an enigma to all involved, has expressed disinterest in Biden's help as well as Trump's involvement, saying, quote, "Every fiber of our union is being poured into fighting the billionaire class and an economy that enriches people like Donald Trump at the expense of the workers," end quote. Interesting. Because we all know that the unions don't collect dues from their members, right? Right? They do this altruistically because they believe in the workers, so they don't charge them a penny for that, right? And because they're very altruistic in their nature, they certainly don't influence the direction of elections. They would never do that. They don't push certain political agendas and ideologies. They're not into party politics because they're all about the workers, right? And as far as enriching the billionaire class, there's definitely nobody at the top of these large national and international unions that they themselves are billionaires, because that would never happen, right? Because they're all about the workers. Okay, tracking. Got it. A couple of articles I want to look at before we do the national intel. Okay, Bear. All right, good talk, everybody. Sharts fired. Thanks, Ray McDaniel. Yep. Remember, hey, it's that time of year where the seasons are changing. You should be doing a bug out bag shakedown. Your 97-pound inch bag. I'm never coming home again, Bear. Cool. Do you know where you're going? Well, I don't have that figured out, Bear. All right. So you're gonna bug out to the state forest and bushcraft a log cabin and live there forever? Yeah, Bear, that's the plan. Okay, cool. So while you're doing your bug out bag shakedown, as the seasons change, you're putting in a nice toboggan cap in there, a watch cap, a beanie, as the kids call them these days. Maybe taking the mosquito net out, and the bug dope out, although I like bug dope year round. Things like that, adding some more insulative layers to your sleep kit, extra pair of clothes, some weather gear, all that. Put some toilet paper in your bug out bag. You take a roll of toilet paper, you squish it flat, you put it inside a Ziploc bag, you smush all the air out of that, fold it over on top of itself. Because, it's a thing, right? Make sure you have a sharp implement for digging a hole when you go outside the camp to poop. You poop in the hole, you wipe your butt, you cover it back up with dirt. All right? Okay. Okay, Bear. All right, good talk, everybody. Before we do the national intel, a couple of articles I want to look at. One is from The Blaze, which I guess they're improving their game. I only got 5 pop-ups today at theblaze.com. So, last time on Wednesday it was 7. Or maybe they're running out of ad spend. We'll see. From The Blaze, Pentagon to continue Ukraine-related activity even if there's a government shutdown. Sir, madam, that's not the kind of government shutdown I'm in support of. From the article, the possibility of a government shutdown currently looms in the Estados Unidos, but the Department of Defense will continue carrying out Ukraine-related activities even if there is a lapse in government appropriations. Defense Department spokesperson Chris Sherwood informed Politico. Quote, Operation Atlantic Resolve, aka Operation Take Billions of Dollars of your taxpayer money and send it to a, air quote, duly elected representative of the country of Ukraine, formerly employed as an actor named Volodymyr Zelensky, is an accepted activity under a government lapse in appropriations, end quote. In other words, hey, we're still going to send money over there whether the government shuts down or not. Politico reported that this means America's activities, such as training of Ukrainian troops and shipping armaments to the war-torn Eastern European nation, would continue in the event of a U.S. government shutdown. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Joe Biden at the White House on Thursday. And somehow we failed to fly that missing F-35 directly into the building housing the both of them. Oops. The Ukrainian leader has also met with U.S. lawmakers during his trip to America. Have you guys seen all the chatter about the F-35? It landed in Cuba and it was armed with nuclear weapons. And now Russia has one of our F-35s with nuclear weapons. And because of the signature, the radar signature of the F-35 and the IFAK, they're going to use that to fly the F-35 on autopilot back into our airspace and drop nuclear weapons. Maybe. But can you make bread? Okay. So whoever they is, just start nuking the United States. Cool. What are you going to eat? What are you going to drink? How are you going to wash your hands in your dirty butthole, and where are you going to poop at? Well, I got my AR-97 Pump 5.56 with a 1-8 red dot sight on it and a blue light illuminator. Yeah, but no sling. It's not zeroed, and who cares? Do you have a gate that you can close? Yes, I can make bread and thread. Good job, Texas sheep lady. Good job. You see the point here? Oh no, F-35s, nuclear armed. They're flying them back from Cuba with a Russian autopilot, and the Chinese hacked the DOD. And okay. Am I a fan of that? No, not even a little bit. Am I going to lose my shit over it? No. Nope. You can't eat ammo. Well, Glock 316, you can. Just one time. Don't recommend it. What kind of sling do you have? The one in the combat video was slick. Oh, that would be a Sojourn Gear adjustable sling. SEWJOURN gear.com. And then I also run several SOE tactical slings as well. Mad Kelt, what's up, bro? Shalom, homie. Back to the Blaze, air quote, article. The U.S. has already shelled out billions of dollars worth of aid to Ukraine as that country defends itself against a brutal Russian invasion. I'm sorry, it's a special military operation. Get with the times. And there's a broad bipartisan consensus in favor of providing even more U.S. assistance. Nobody asked me. Quote, American support for Ukraine is not charity. It's an investment in our own direct interests. Like Burisma Holdings' direct interests? Like whose direct interests? Not least because degrading Russia's military power helps to deter our primary strategic adversary, China, end quote. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican, said in a statement. I don't think he said any of that. I'm not sure that he's not still blue screening of death somewhere behind a curtain. That guy, not a person, not a people. That's not a people. That's not what people look like. That's not how people behave, let alone people who should be in charge of the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Quote, if you can't support Ukraine right now, that's un-American and you're not standing up for democracy, end quote. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania said in a statement, according to The Hill. Quote, the people of Ukraine had the courage to stand up and fight an evil empire, but now Republicans in the House do not even have the guts to have their backs and support them. This is totally despicable. the Democrats are war hawks now? I mean, I know historically they have been in the past. I know, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Historically, we've had more war and conflict with Democratic presidents than we have with Republicans. But never let the facts get in the way of a good story, right? Mitch McConnell and John Fetterman are on the same page. That tells me that what's happening in Ukraine is super duper stinky. Red said, fart noises. I agree. Dooby dooby doo. Only Warhawks when it suits them. Yeah. 2 words. Burisma Holdings. Anyway, the rest of this Blaze article is filled with ads and sucks anyway, so we're going to go ahead and close that tab. There's an interesting write-up in The Hill, thehill.com. By the way, I saved you some time this morning and cruised RT, The Blaze, The Guardian, Google News, Microsoft Bing, a handful of others, and all of the news today is just stupid. It's just stupid. Air quote, news. It's stupid. But there is this article from The Hill. Is the Fed ignoring signs of another financial collapse? Do you believe the Fed that has altruistic motivations and actually wants to help you? And if so, why? Because them ignoring signs of a looming financial collapse would be indicative of them having a vested interest in you not suffering from another financial collapse, and I don't think they give a shit. However, from The Hill, Hyman Minsky, a late Washington University credit cycle expert, must be rolling in his grave at a time when there are the clearest signs that the credit cycle has turned. The Federal Reserve is sticking to its mantra of high interest rates for longer in order to regain inflation control. By so doing, the Fed risks inviting a financial system crisis next year that could trigger a meaningful economic recession. Meaningful, as if the one that we're in the midst of right now, which is sucking your saving accounts dry and making it even more difficult to pay your bills, is not meaningful. It's all just make-believe right now. You ain't seen nothing yet, is the implication of this article. Biden versus Fetterman in a pay-per-view chess match. Remember Celebrity Deathmatch on, I think it was MTV, back when there was music on the television? Air quote, music. Although they did have some Pantera videos back in the day. That was pretty good. Anyway, I'd like to see that. I am all for, instead of this dog and pony show we have that's supposed to be a representative republic, I'm all for bringing back champions. You want to elect a president? That's cool. You take the top 15 candidates from each party. You let them pick their melee weapon of choice. You put them in the Coliseum, and the last one standing gets to be in charge for a while. And once every 6 months or so, a challenger can challenge them. Yeah, I want probably a spiked mace or a nice bearded axe. That's what I'm thinking. Light armor, leather armor maybe. Yeah, because you got to be able to move, right? It's a big thing. Shoot, move, communicate, sustain. Yeah. Or like a baseball bat with like railroad spikes through it. That'd be pretty cool. Minsky taught that a prolonged period of easy money and financial market stability sets up the conditions for pronounced financial market instability. By this, he meant that as an economic confidence rises and asset prices soar in a low interest rate world, the financial system tends to make increasingly risky loans on the assumption that asset prices will continue to rise and interest rates will stay low forever. When the easy money stops and lenders realize that they might not get repaid, the whole credit market house of cards collapses. I've only seen that, 3 times in my lifetime thus far? So definitely not a pattern there. Blah, 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 blah. For many years, the Fed kept interest rates at their zero lower bound and allowed the broad money supply to balloon by 40% from the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2021. This has been followed by a 525 basis point increase, or 5.25% increase in the Fed's target interest rate since March 2022, or the fastest pace of increase in 40 years. It's also been followed by a situation where the broad money supply is now contracting at the fastest pace since the Fed started publishing this data in 1959. Nothing to see here. According to a recent social science research network study, the U.S. banking system's market value of assets today is some $2.2 trillion below its book value. Nor have they been paying attention to the fact that long-term bond yields have continued to rise to their highest level since 2007 as the Fed keeps raising interest rates. Another sign that the credit cycle has turned is the rising default rate in the $1.5 trillion highly leveraged loan market. According to Goldman Sachs, we have already had $24.5 billion of these loans defaulting. That puts us on track for the third worst yearly rate of default on these loans in history. A similar story appears to be unfolding for auto loans and credit card debt. Of very much concern has to be the loan trouble brewing in the commercial real estate property space that is being battered by low occupancy rates in the wake of the COVID pandemic. It is estimated that these loans account for as much as 20% of the regional bank's balance sheet, and that more than $500 billion a year in these loans falls due over the next 3 years. As if to underline this point, a growing number of property developers, including Blackstone, the world's largest commercial property developer, have already walked away from their mortgages. Meanwhile, Morgan Stanley is estimating that commercial property prices in 6 major U.S. cities could decline by as much as 40%. There's 2 more paragraphs that I'll read. In March 2008, the Fed overlooked the clear signals of a turn in the credit cycle provided by the Bear Stearns failure and the trouble brewing in the subprime market. That trouble led to the September 2008 Lehman Brothers crisis and the Great Economic Recession. Today, in its quest to beat inflation at all costs, the Fed seems to be repeating the same mistake of downplaying the building strains in the financial system that are in plain sight. This makes it all too likely that we will once again pay a heavy economic price for the Fed's failure to draw the right lessons from financial market history. In other words, New Living Bear translation, y'all ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to economic crises. Should we do the national intel? What do you guys think? What do you think? Yeah, should we do it? What's the email address? intel@bearindependent.com. How do you spell that, Bear? Intel, short for intelligence. Intel@bearindependent.com. It's the email address. Boo-doo-boo. 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 Bob Lee Swagger. Hey, Bear, thanks for what you do. Thanks for you, Bob Lee. Good shooting. In the dispersion said, every day is selection. There you go. I like it. Bear Independent Intel sent in by y'all. Intel@bearindependent.com. I've got 3 for you today. Nope, call it 4 because that's how numbers work. These are all quotes. To the Bear Nation, I live just east of Pittsburgh and work in the second store Sam Walton created. That would be Walmart number 0002. We've recently had issues getting any products that say Clorox on them. Also, by the way, for those of y'all who are new here, you do not have the permission to freak out. You cannot engage in retail therapy and go buy everything that says Clorox on it now because I heard on the Bear Brief that it's going to be out of stock forever. Okay, simmer down. Yesterday, September 14th, as of when this was sent in, our manager informed us that Kraft, which owns basically everything, experienced a major cyber attack, mainly hindering distribution. Interesting. We keep getting new dates on when the situation will be rectified, but as each date passes, no product. We are also now carrying emergency food rations. And I've never seen that in a major retailer outside of the weird camping foods you see in the sporting goods section. Just more indicators. What's up, bro, Morris? Next, a small update from Southeast Queensland, Australia. Thank you from down under, Oz. Appreciate you. Also, as I've said previously, and we'll say again here, I know from the YouTube backend data and analytics that a bunch of y'all are not from the United States. For those of y'all from around the world, please, what you are seeing in your country, send that information to intel@bearindependent.com, because we get really bad reporting on what's happening. We get bad reporting, period, but especially bad reporting as to what's happening around the world. So if you live outside the Estados Unidos, intel@bearindependent.com, please and thank you. A small update from Southeast Queensland, Australia. On October 14th, there is a national referendum to change the Constitution to include a, quote, Indigenous voice to Parliament, end quote. While on the surface it seems like a good idea, the people behind this push include the same old suspects, known communists, activists, big media, and corporations. It looks like the vote will fail in real polling, but certain people behind this are screaming all of the ists and isms already on the polling numbers. Racist, misogynist, blah, blah, blah. The Indigenous voice to Parliament itself is proving divisive in the community, and there have been rumblings of trouble from the left as it fails to pass. On the subject of Indigenous affairs, there's currently a native title claim on 3,500 properties in Redlandshire that the council can't afford to fight. They're supposed to hand public property over to, quote, native title holders and then rent it back from them for public access. Well, there's a little place called Lahaina where the laser beams shot out of the sky and handled that, air quote, Indigenous people's problem for the Big Bay. So if you're in Redlandshire, I'd put a blue tarp over your roof for no particular reason. Local crime seems on the increase, mainly break and enters and youth crimes. I was a customer at a tobacconist during an attempted, quote, armed, guy had a jack handle in his bag claiming it was a gun, hold up a few months ago. The guy got away after being disarmed. Citizens' arrests are unlawful if they require force, apparently. If I had gone any further than removing the threat, I could have been charged with assault and deprivation of liberty, according to the attending police. Oh my, how far we have fallen. I could launch into a diatribe here about never let them take your weapons. In Australia, by and large, they already have. Here in the United States, they're sure trying. Never let them take your weapons. Government should not have a monopoly on force. Period, the end. That's why we have the Second Amendment here in the United States of America, because our founding fathers had dealt with a government that had a monopoly on force. And it was oppressive and tyrannical, and they wanted to make sure that never happened again. I believe the vast majority of people here in the Bear Nation are supporters of the Second Amendment. Never let them have a monopoly on force. Why don't blue things burn? Oh, because of the wavelength of the laser from the direct energy weapon that's being beamed out of the sky from the aircraft that's on station overhead. That's why. Fuel prices, $2.19 Australian per liter for diesel, approximately $5.80 US per gallon. Petrol, similarly priced. Finally, there has been an uptick in military air traffic out of RAAF Amberley, both RAAF assets and USAF, U.S. Air Force assets, over the last few months, not appearing on flight tracking, but I am under the flight path in a quiet area and hear both big and fast stuff coming and going at all hours. Also witnessed personally lots of United States Navy naval traffic, including subs on the surface of late, within sight of the beach. This is not normal. Occasionally you see visiting carriers further out towards the horizon, but defiantly noticeable changes in maritime traffic. Next. Hello, I'm a registered veterinary technician. Hello back. And I work at an urgent care clinic, and we provide services that are between a day practice and a full 24-hour emergency facility. In having a discussion with management, we are down $40,000 to $50,000 in revenue from where we were last year. and we just aren't seeing the patients come in anymore, which is an indicator as to where people are financially, as people are no longer paying for extra visits for their pets. They are just doing the bare minimums, if that, to make it by. While it is a sad thing to see, it's just another indicator of how bad things really are. It seems that extra care for pets for a lot of people who aren't in affluent areas tend to be the first thing that people will forgo, only providing food and water, no vaccines, flea meds, heartworm prevention, and more. We were considered essential services during COVID-19, and people were willing to provide so much for their furry companions, but we just aren't seeing that anymore. And the clients we do see often have very limited and small budgets that only allow us to treat the bare minimum for their pets. I used to feel I had job security in this industry, but now I'm not as confident. Regardless, I know the Lord has got this, and we will be faithful, trusting that He will provide for our needs, but it is alarming to say the least. Thank you for all you do, and may the Lord continue to bless you in your ministries. Thank you. Next, more supply chain interruptions on the way. I received an email from Navistar yesterday stating that the Bridge of the Americas has been shut down for commercial traffic coming into the Estados Unidos from Mexico due to the influx of illegal immigrants. The big they say it's temporary, but we all know what temporary means. And that enhanced safety inspections at the Isleta Zaragoza is increasing lead times of goods getting into the U.S., not to mention all the incoming trucks using Zaragoza as an alternate to the Bridge of Americas. So, in large part, the migrant situation to me is an economic thing. It's a security thing as well. Don't get me wrong on that. Don't launch into a diatribe in the comments. But it is an economic thing. People are coming here because the economy is stronger here than where they came from. How long can our, quote, strong economy continue to support people like that? Not very long, if you ask me. I'm not a professional. I don't even play one on YouTube. But it seems like some pretty basic math. There is the security element to this. There are definitely bad actors sprinkled amidst all the people who are coming here for economic reasons. Globally, economies are not doing very well. It's a great day to prep, y'all. It is a great day to prep. That's a brief for today. If you're one of those people that jumps off when it's time to discuss the value exchange, here's your polite invitation to beat, feet, skedaddle, get out of here, have a blessed day. Shalom. For everybody else, and especially if you're new here, stick around. Links in the description for everything I'm about to discuss. Patreon.com. $10 a month. Prepper Consultancy. Feedback from patrons. There is typically at least one video of the 12 to 15 exclusive videos per month that are posted on Patreon. There's typically at least one video per month where the overwhelming majority of the content say something like, this one video was worth my $10. Thank you. What's up, Brain Cat? It's chock full of value. Check it out. It's $10 a month. White Fox says, love me some Patreon. Right. Amen. RefugeMedical.com. We got some of them leather kits still in stock at the store. So if you're trying to scoop those up before the holiday season, or you just want to have a cool leather first aid kit that better suits your attire, whether you're LARPing in the woods with your full tang, Scandi grind bushcraft knife, or you're LARPing at the Renaissance Fair with your cold steel hand and a half sword, or you're riding around on a motorcycle, or you need something that's a little bit more executive looking leather as compared to ballistic nylon. Got those in stock. Links are in the description. Bearfacts are in stock. Shipping super duper fast. Average fulfillment time is approximately 16 hours. When I say it's in stock, that means that I own the inventory. It's under my roof, and I'll send it to you super duper fast. Also, if you don't know anything about trauma medicine, but you know you need a first aid kit, trauma medicine playlist here on this channel. It's free, dog. Free. Go watch it. It's 4 hours of content. Okay. Refuge Medical also has numerous resources on the website in video and in picture format of how to use all this stuff. And we unconditionally guarantee our products forever. If you break it for any reason, I'll replace it at no cost to you. If you use the contents of your kit to save a life, I will replace the contents that you used at no cost to you. So, like, there's all your guarantees, man. You can't go wrong. Additionally, these kits contain everything you need and nothing you don't to save somebody's life. This is the bare fact. There are many like it. There are thousands of these in the wild, but this one is mine. 25,000 people couldn't be wrong, could they? Go look at the 5-star reviews on the website. Molly compatible, Pal's Wedding compatible on the outside. I got a Gen 7 CAT Committee on TCCC recommended windlass tourniquet right here on the outside. It's in the plastic, so you know that it's new. When you get this, you unwrap it and stage it so that it's ready to go, okay? I've got my shears on this side as well because you want to expose the wounds. It's better to be alive and slightly humiliated than modest and dead, okay? So grab the lid, pop open the lid, grab the red handle, pull, very simple. And now I'm holding in my hand a purpose-built trauma IFAK. That's intentional. Because I hate all these other products on the market where this thing's stuck to my body and I'm trying to get the shit out that I need right now. Nope. Got it in my hand. Here it is. And check this. You can open it with one hand. Why? Because 4 of the 91 lives that have been saved to date, somebody was missing their other hand. Explosives, mechanical amputations, bad wrecks. Watch. See this? See that little tab right there? Now, see, when I do this, all the stuff inside of here is going to go everywhere because this was not thoughtfully packed per the March algorithm, right? Or actually, no, it won't because this was thoughtfully packed per the March algorithm. Secondary tourniquet, massive bleeding, pressure bandage, gloves, because if it's wet and not yours, don't touch it. Medical tape. Watch this with the medical tape. I love this. You ready? And especially all y'all of our air quote competitors out there that love to rip our shit off. Are you watching too? Watch. Tape. So that your tape doesn't roll underneath the vehicle that's on fire that you're trying to save people from. Right? Sharpie, massive bleeding area here. In the back, the stack. Oh, and let's not skip over the made in the USA tag because this wasn't assembled in America. It wasn't packed in America. Every stitch, every thread, every grommet made in the United States of America. Made here by Americans. 5x9 gauze pads, because if I need big gauze, I need it now. I don't want to have to go digging for it. And oftentimes when you're applying something like, I don't know, these chest seals right here, you're going to have viscous fluids, blood, and other fluids on the chest. And I want these to stick, so I want a big piece of gauze right now. Okay? So we include 2 5x9 gauze pads along with your 2 chest seals, because you got 2 lungs. I don't know if you know that, a left and a right. And oftentimes with a penetrating wound to the pleural space, aka the box between your belly button and the top of your collarbone right here, 360 degrees around, that penetrating wound goes all the way through. So you have an entry wound and an exit wound, bullet, rebar, spear from the gladiator, whatever you're into. All right, so you got 2 chest seals, left and right, front and back, whatever you got. Nasal, pharyngeal airway, size 28 French, and a burn tech dressing because it's a common modality of injury, especially in motor vehicle accidents. Ote. But wait, there's more. Oh yeah, you know there's more. Then down below, down here, right, we got our massive bleeding, airway and respiratory in the back, circulation, head injury, hypothermia, everything else for the remainder of the March algorithm. Down here, in this little pocket down here, we have, what do we got? Quick clot, rolled gauze for wound packing, as well as the trauma pack. Mylar blanket, compressed gauze for wound packing, Kerlix rolled gauze for superficial wounds, triangle bandage that can be used for 1,000 different things. 2x2s, 4x4s, 5x9 gauze pads, an eye pad, an eye shield, and flat duct tape because it sticks to everything, including blood, sweat, and tears. Kimmy said that's an amazing kit. Thanks, Kimmy. It's almost like we know what the hell we're doing. It's almost like we're constantly getting end user feedback from professionals who bet their life on this kit 24/7, 365. It's almost like this kit has saved people's lives from motor vehicle accidents here in the United States of America to people who literally don't have names on their uniforms doing things that never happen in places that don't exist. Some of the after action reports that we've gotten on this kit are so heavily redacted, I can barely make sense out of them. So this is our flagship kit, the IFAK. We've got 22 other kits at refugemedical.com. If you don't know which kit you need or which kit you want, there's a Find My Kit function on the website as well. Check that out. IFAK. HSA, FSA eligible as always. And if you're on Patreon, use your promo code OK. OK, Bear. Refugetraining.com. You don't know how to use your kit. You got it? What'd you do?
For a mouse.
Oh, you're hunting a mouse?
It's dead.
It's dead?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet, but it's gonna be. Okay. Update from below the dining room table. There is a mouse, and it will be dead shortly, says my wife. Refugetraining.com. We have upcoming classes in Spiro, Oklahoma at the Refuge HQ. October 30th, I believe. So go to refugetraining.com. October, I should look at my calendar rather than saying some shit on the internet that's incorrect. October 29th and October 30th. In-person training at the Refuge HQ. A bunch of the Refuge team will be there. There's going to be all kinds of like that Sunday evening parking lot barbecue, right? So if you're training on Sunday, you come Sunday, hang out evening. If you're training on Monday, get there early, hang out Sunday evening, then train on Monday. That kind of thing. It's going to be a blast. Refuge team will be there. My wife is giving me the look. She's giving me this look right here. Anybody who has a wife is familiar with this look. You know what this look means.
What does it mean, babe?
No. What does this mean?
Yeah.
And shut your damn mouth, homie. You're in trouble. That's what that look means.
Glad you said it, not me.
But it's at the Refuge HQ in 100%, says Andy Barnes. He's familiar.
He knows the look.
October 29th and 30th in Spiro, Oklahoma at the Refuge HQ. We're doing Responder 1 and Responder 2. So that'll be a 4 to 5 hour classroom setting on the March algorithm with like literally 100 reps and sets on tourniquets, pressure bandages, nasopharyngeal airway, chest seals, etc. And then Responder 2 is intro to scenario-based training. It's a little bit of force on force as well as working staged motor vehicle accident with crisis actors, etc., etc. You want me to be there when? What's up, Mark Chase? So there's training on Sunday the 29th. And then that Sunday after class, there's going to be a Refuge hangout in the parking lot. You know, we're going to cook some burgers, tell fish stories and ghost stories, hang out, fellowship, the whole nine. And then Monday, the 30th, there's another Responder 1, Responder 2 at the class as well, or at the office as well, the Refuge building. So like all the people that you've seen on camera, etc., you got to go.
Love you.
Love you too. Have fun. Be safe. Shoot bad guys in the face.
Yep.
In the dispersion, Shadow will be there. Tremendous. So all the cool guys and girls will be there. It's going to be a blast. Heavy metal parking lot. Entirely possible. Can we pick up orders locally at the HQ? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So make sure to check that out. That's refugetraining.com. I was just getting with the training guys yesterday. They just got back from a private class in Kansas. And they were like, hey, what do you think about this. And I was like, that's a good idea. Let's tweak it just a couple of ways. And so we've got some upcoming classes at the Refuge HQ. So Ajel Safi said, nice people at that place. Stop by once. Awesome. Yeah. You can also do that Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5, stores open. So if you want to drop by, say hello, pick up a kit, touch it, feel it in person. If you're a tactile kinesthetic person, you can do that. That's refugetraining.com. And then let's see what else we got. calebhouse.org, Caleb with a K, calebhouse.org. If you would like to be involved with people that are going out there and making a difference when it comes to anti-human trafficking, Caleb with a K, calebhouse.org. That is our juvenile human trafficking survivor restoration ministry. AKA, we put kiddos back together again that have been broken by assholes. I don't want to get too deep into that right now, but many of you all know about Caleb House. And yeah, we couldn't do this without your support. If the Spirit moves you, if and only if, there's online giving there. There's also a lot of stats and a lot of information you can arm yourself with about anti-human trafficking. Save the good ones, kill the bad ones. It's almost like 12C knows what's up. Precisely. Serve the Father. GrindstoneMinistries.com. Disaster relief ministry, construction ministry. Grindstone is building Caleb House Actual, the restoration facility, then deeding it over to Caleb House. And so if you want to support the construction effort, you can check out grindstoneministries.com. Links in the description, all this stuff. And of course, our brother Saw's Facts Not Feelings shirt, our brother Rex's The Real Dope shirt, Caleb House t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies, all in the description down below. And our brother at Moose Run Coffee, if you need some good coffee and you want to support Grindstone, check out the Grindstone blend at mooseruncoffee.com. My big dog just freaked me out because he very quietly came up the stairs and looked through the window. And he's so big that it looked like a people was looking through the window. When is the North Carolina meetup? RLRL. Are you talking about Fallout? The Fallout at mountainreadiness.com. And readiness, by the way, is READINES. And that's October 20th through the 22nd. And if you go to mountainreadiness.com, there is a barbecue to benefit Caleb House as well. Mountain Readiness, READINESS.com. The fall or the Fallout is what it's called. It's October 20th through the 22nd. I will be there. J.A. Dudley will be there. I think Forrester from the sales team will be there. I don't know who else is going to be there. But it's $35 for the entire weekend. There's going to be a bunch of other people there. Angry American, the prepper novelist, will be there. The tactical rifleman guys will be there. Some of the Forged in Fire guys will be there. A bunch of people from the homesteading and bushcrafting and prepper communities will be there. It's going to be awesome. And we'll end with James Davidson said, "How jazzed are y'all for the upcoming Sukkot?" Super duper jazzed, bro. Like, cannot wait. Cannot wait. Now remember, according to the internet, the world ends tomorrow. So do whatever you got to do today. Store closes at sundown. Check it out. Buckets are back in stock. A bunch of y'all were unhappy that the buckets were out of stock, but that's because a bunch of other people bought buckets. But buckets are back in stock. Surgical bucket, wound care bucket, birthing bucket, postpartum bucket, and every bucket gets you entered into a chance to win a custom bug out bag from Refuge Medical, a jelly bean launcher from Chaffee Outfitters, a Mantis training system, a bunch of other cool stuff as well, a carrier and level 4 plates, blah, 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 blah. So that's at Refuge Medical. Every bucket you buy gets you entered for a chance to win. And we're pushing an hour. I got to go. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.